I'm Hana.
And I'm Georgia.
And you're listening to Film Picnic.
We begin, as always, by acknowledging that Film Picnic is recorded on the ancestral lands of the Musqueam people. This land is referred to as unceded territory as it was not given up freely, and it continues to be home for the indigenous communities from which it was and is stolen.
It is with immense privilege that we talk into these microphones and share our stories, as stories have been shared for generations before us on this land. We hope that Film Picnic can be a space for shared accountability, knowledge sharing, and reconciliation. This always was and always will be Indigenous land.
It's a special episode. We have two guests today. You hit him with the first one, please.
Our first guest brings over a decade of production experience in both major studio blockbusters and independent projects. Her career showcases an impressive evolution from second assistant coordinator on The Flash to production coordinator on high projects like Jurassic World. Her diverse portfolio spans science fiction series like Snowpiercer and Travelers, romantic dramas like Everything, and holiday television movies. Beyond her coordination work, she's also the founder and producer at Notable Studios, which provides creative space and production services for creative people in, this says East Vancouver, but across Vancouver, BC, everywhere, America, everywhere. Her experience both in major productions and supporting the independent creative community makes her an invaluable voice on production coordination, producing, and career advancement in film and television. Welcome to the picnic, Amanda VERHAGEN.
Can I get a copy of that for my agent?
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
that's really good.
So incredibly excited and grateful to have you here.
Thank you.
Before I say more, I'll let Georgia introduce
Our second guest. Our second guest is the founder and post supervisor of one of Vancouver's most respected boutique post-production facilities, with an impressive track record spanning over 30 film and television projects. As a re-recording mixer, sound designer, and supervising sound editor, his recent work includes The Apprentice, A Nice Indian Boy, and Love Me, along with the upcoming The Wedding Banquet. Although, is it upcoming? Is it already out? Upcoming.
The Wedding Banquet?
Yes.
It's out, right?
It's out. Beautiful. Yeah. Okay. He's built Elemental Post in Vancouver's Railtown district around the philosophy that a soundscape is worth 1,000 pictures, offering comprehensive end-to-end services from dailies and color correction to sound design, mixing, and final delivery. 11 wins, 21 nominations for his work. He brings both technical expertise and creative vision to every project. Welcome to the picnic, Matt Drake from Elemental Post.
Thank you.
Yeah.
This is such an exciting episode for us.
Yay.
I should just clarify one thing real
please.
quick, because I did not supervise The Apprentice. I just did some ADR on The Apprentice, and I don't want to.
Okay.
You don't want to claim
I don't want
that.
to claim
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
Worked
Okay.
on The Apprentice.
Hey, yeah.
Supported,
Recent work includes.
supported in post work.
The producers
Beautiful.
of The Apprentice are very good friends of ours, so we don't want them
Yes.
hearing this and being like,
Excuse me,
Matt."
where's the credit?
Yeah,
No,
they
that's
did
so
all the, They
fair.
did all the posts in Ireland, and I just did one small little help.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, beautiful.
Yeah.
As we will help them forever. That's very impressive, Matt.
You both are very
both are
impressive.
very impressive.
We've been wanting to have you on since season 1, honestly. Both of you were on our original list of guests that we wanted to have.
Lore, we tried to have Amanda on earlier, and then
Oops.
No,
Disaster
it was, no,
struck.
what? Yeah, did you dislocated your
but it was
shoulder?
no,
I
it was a
broke
shoulder-
my
it was-
arm.
right, yeah, it was genuinely crazy. I got that email and I was like, is she okay? Like, what do we do? Like, obviously the episode doesn't matter now. Like, what's gonna happen? Yeah, but
It was like a few days before recording, and
Yeah.
I was taking our English bulldog out of the car at the vet, and it was
Is that snacks or
snowy.
soda?
Snacks.
Name drop.
Snacks.
I know,
Yeah.
Snacks. He's very famous in the film community.
Yeah.
I
was hoping.
was
have
taking him out of the
snacks
car,
here.
and it was snowy and icy. And when I lifted him, he's 50 pounds.
Yeah.
We both fell down, and he
Oh,
landed right on my arm
no.
here and just snapped
So
it right
you
in half.
broke his fall.
Yeah, I did. But
That's nice of you.
ironically, he also
care.
no, he didn't care. But he also has a broken arm here from years ago. So now we're twinsies.
You're twinsies.
Wow.
Yes. So
Aw.
he was like,
that's-
"Look, Mom."
It's kind of a beautiful story.
that is.
Yeah.
But
Well, I'm glad we have you here now.
we're in the
Yes.
studio
I'm glad.
today,
Is your arm
fully
healed
functioning
fully
body.
now? Okay.
Amazing.
Gosh,
Thank
yeah, it's been a minute. This season's been going on since January.
And look at us.
And look at us.
Who would have thought?
Yeah.
Who would have thought? Not me.
Thank you so much for
Um,
accommodating us. This is like
yes.
Are you
so
kidding me?
lovely. We're so
No.
happy
Well,
to be here.
For a bit of context for our listeners, we were initially going to have you two on individually, but I think it's extra special and fun that we get to have you both here together to talk about your work and experience as individuals in your own careers, but also as partners who both work in the film industry.
Yes.
And I feel like we don't hear, well, I don't know. We haven't had anyone on our show talk about that yet. So I'm excited to hear more.
And we're getting married in a month.
Yeah.
Woo!
That's
I did not
Yay.
forget that. That's so exciting. Congratulations.
crazy.
It seems, is it busy right now? Like,
Yeah.
wedding planning, I can imagine
Yes.
is like,
I'm
And
doing
you're on a show.
2 movies and a wedding.
oh
Yeah.
my
But
God.
can I say you're probably like, I feel like having producer experience going into a wedding, it's probably like, I don't know. I would
Or is it a
imagine
totally
like
different-
you got the
She's
details,
basically
you got the
tackled the
logistics.
whole thing, and like with with a lot of grace and very little help from me.
Well,
which
just in
is
terms
very
of careers
appreciated.
that lend themselves well, like the skill
Yeah.
set required that lends itself well to planning a wedding, like you're in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like every vendor is like, 6 weeks out, we need to have this and we need to have that. And I'm
Yeah.
like, girl, it's done. It's fine.
Don't even worry about
yeah.
it. I had
No.
it done months ago. Like,
Yeah.
you're good. You're good.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Let's start. We have some questions for the both of you. Maybe we'll just alphabetical order. Amanda, we're gonna start with you.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
I guess alphabetic
Before
by
before we
That's
jump
fine.
into
First names,
questions, I'd
please.
love if Amanda could just explain what you are doing currently as a line producer. Because I remember I had a conversation with you a few years ago where I was like, I want to be a producer. What is a line producer?
Yeah, totally fair. Totally fair. No, so yeah, I was a production coordinator for like 10 years. And now I've become a line producer. Yay, working your way up.
Yay.
So a line producer is basically I'm the person that people call and they say, hey, I have $10 million. I want to make this movie. Here's a script. Can you do it in Canada or somewhere else? And I go, yeah, absolutely. And then I read the script and I go, oh my God, you need an extra $100 million. You're crazy. But we figured out how to like a way to make it work. And I offer suggestions on, where best to shoot it in terms of like, is it BC? Is it Winnipeg? Is it Ontario in terms of what the tax credits are? Is it best to shoot somewhere because of the location look they're going for? I help sell BC, which is really important because we're trying to get more production here. So, trying to get, all of our friends working.
Yes.
And then when the movies actually do come here and the studios come here, I'm very much like client management. So I'm trying to make sure they have a great experience, but also making sure that we spend our millions of dollars correctly and that we get the best product possible, which all sounds incredibly dry and boring. But
Not to me at
Not
all.
to this
I'm like,
crowd.
I'm
I tell you
like,
what,
I want to be you when I
This
grow
is
up.
the
Like,
space
yes.
for it. Yeah.
But it's like I find, line producing and producing is you are so creatively involved without even realizing it because the way you spend money is about choices. I never try to say no to something. I try to say, like, how are we going to make a choice in this?
Yeah.
We can spend all of our money on one actor if we want to and have a fancy pants actor. It's just a choice. We can spend all of our money on one location. We can spend all of our money on post. It's just what's going to be the most relevant thing to tell the story, what's going to be most important to the director. It's just about what choices you want to make. And that will creatively impact the story. And when I'm building budgets and when I'm working with departments, it's a matter of making sure I understand the story and understand what the director is trying to tell so that I can help make those choices with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And I also think it's cool that you kind of started a point of we have this budget and now what can we do with it? Funding and all of that is great too, but it's just it's a different battle.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna jump around a little bit for a
Let's.
second. I'm
Let's.
sorry. It's both of you are here.
Yeah.
We had a conversation a couple years ago.
Oh God, what did I say?
Something terribly incriminating. No, but when you started your journey with Notable Studios, did you two start that journey together of starting your own production?
An iteration.
Like, I know it was kind of
iteration
like
of
I
it.
know like I know it
A
Notable
small
Studios is
iteration
your
of it.
baby. But I'm curious to hear about the genesis.
Yes.
There
origin.
once was a
There
time
was.
where Matt thought he was going to be a producer and wanted to be a producer, and we made some things together. And then we realized that he is so freaking good at post that he needs to stay there. Because
Stay away.
If it
Yeah.
ain't broke,
Stay away
don't
from
fix it.
production.
Yeah. I think there's this like point in your life that you get to where, and like correct me if I'm wrong, where the universe just kind of shows you what you're good at, and you have to
Yeah.
kind of go, oh, okay, yeah, and just release yourself to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like
Yeah.
it, and I still do like it, but it's very I don't want to say thankless because that's like a bad
It's
thing.
incredibly
it is
thankless.
thankless. It is
Yeah.
thankless. Where's
Especially-
the credit?
especially-
Where's the award for producers at the Oscars?
It's
Best Picture.
It's best picture,
But it's like
it's the best award,
which is
yes, yeah.
But I think, but aside from all that, like I was very interested in producing as well. I went through film school, and that's kind of why I went to film school. I'd been in sound and post kind of in some way or shape or form before I even went to film school, in like music and producing music and recording music. But so that was always kind of my focus in film.
Yeah.
And I did that for a while, and I did shorts, and I did a couple features, and found little bits of money here and there.
Yeah.
And I liked it. Don't want to say I didn't like it, and that's kind of when we were, and when me and Amanda met and started dating, like she was in that world too of like financing and putting projects together. So yeah, it kind of was one of those natural steps to try to like work together and do a couple things, and we have done a couple of things over the last few years. But yeah, definitely stepping back from producing and focusing on post, and that's a whole full-time, more than full-time
I find
thing,
post
and
the most challenging
Mhm.
part. I shot my thesis film in February.
Congratulations.
Thank you. But like we're in the stage of we're locked. It's just the color grading, it's the sound, it's all of that, and that's the part that I find hardest to like get the motivation to get into. So I admire that.
So yeah, it was kind of like, I like both, but I
Yeah.
like this more, and this is where my drive was. And starting Elemental, and with my good friend Dave Tomiak, who's a colorist, so we started the company together 5 years ago.
Only 5 years ago?
Only 5 years
Wow.
ago.
Congratulations.
Wow.
That's like, you've done
That's
wow.
impressive.
So,
It's really impressive.
so yeah, I mean, just with all of that, and trying to find cool projects to work on, and actually working on those projects,
Yeah.
and just we came to a crossroads of having to make a choice of, okay, what can I actually, there's only so many hours in a day,
Yeah.
so what do I want to focus on more,
Yeah.
and what do I enjoy more? And sound and post was
Well,
the
and-
winner.
And back in the day, it worked well because we were living in a tiny studio apartment.
Classic.
So
Aw.
I'd be making all these producer calls, and he was there anyways because he had to be, because there was no walls.
Yeah.
Like there was nowhere to go.
So I just started sitting in on calls with
Yeah,
them, just like in
so-
the background. No.
Yeah, right? Like it just kind of naturally worked that we were making movies together because we were just literally together all the time in the start of our
Aw.
relationship. And then we go to festivals together, and we had a great
Aw.
time. And
Yeah.
we kind of became a package deal, but then we kind of naturally just moved into our places. I
Yeah.
stopped independent producing because someone very smart sat me down and said, "Do you know Canadian independent producers do not make any money?
Ever, never.
Ever." They were like, "Go work
quite
with the
scary.
Americans." And I was like, "Oh, good to know. I have to retire one day, and I will need money for that." So I did sell my soul, which
Well,
is totally fine.
But you've done but the projects that you do are so cool.
Yes, I do try to
Agree.
pick really cool projects.
Like so cool.
And I do have to give like credit where credit is due. I am incredibly lucky to have worked with some incredible people like Dan Beckerman, who is like my mentor and brought me on to some amazing things, and he has like impeccable taste. And he's a producer I work with a lot, and Matt works with a lot, and
Yeah,
we
lots and
kind
lots.
of owe our career a bit to him, so thank you, Dan.
Yes, thank you, Dan.
Mentors,
Definitely.
mentorship.
Truly.
Yeah.
But we kind of just naturally realized that if we were going to keep like trying to finance and make telefilm
a
movies
lot.
and things like that, it's more of kind of for producers a hobby,
Yeah.
because when directors make award-winning movies,
They get the recognition and the praise.
Yes.
And
Yes.
yes, and when they go to TIFF and they go to Sundance,
everyone wants to talk to them.
everyone talks to them, and they
Mhm.
get to go on to make bigger movies with studios. The producers get left behind.
Yeah.
You get to go on to make another telefilm movie.
You find the
So-
next director like that to make their first movie or second
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
Which just doesn't work. So there is a big challenge for producers in this country to develop talent, to find the next generation,
Yeah.
and to actually support directors. So I think we're going to kind of run into a situation where we're actually going to just run out of producers because there's no way to support them. Yeah, except for you, of course.
Yes.
Yeah.
So funny.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And how did you then like bridge the gap from being an independent producer where you were financing and raising that money to, I mean, you did a lot of production coordinating, but how did you shift from being an independent to then line producing films that had already been financed?
Do I tell them the truth?
If you
Sure.
want to.
I stalked the shit out of Dan Beckerman.
Okay, well, that's how you do it. There you go, guys. Like, literally.
I looked on IMDb Pro
Yeah.
and IMDb, and I found the person that was doing what I wanted to do.
Okay,
And
pro tip. Young
Me
filmmakers
emailing
out
Amanda.
there.
like literally.
Yeah.
And I found out he was doing a movie in town, and I was like, I'm going to coordinate that movie so I can get close to him. And then I worked on a movie called Come to Daddy that we shot in Tofino that was very challenging. Never shoot in Tofino. Oh my God, those roads.
Yeah, Tofino, beautiful, but at what cost?
Yeah, at what there's no accommodations. The roads are horrific for trucks.
What time of
Like,
year was this?
Summer.
Okay.
Height of tourist season.
Okay.
So challenging.
Lovely.
We had just started dating, so every day I was like, Matt, where are you? And
I
he
went
was
to
in
Europe.
Europe.
I went to
Yeah.
Europe. Yeah.
Yeah.
I left her.
He was on his Eat, Pray, Love tour.
Love.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
So very challenging. But the whole time I was like, hey, Dan, what's going on in your company? What do you need? What do you need support in? And I just learned as much as I could about how he made movies and, got kind of not close to him, but like curried
Acquainted.
favor, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah.
And then we, after that, made a movie.
It's like a few years later.
Yeah, a
after
few
that,
years
too.
later,
Yeah.
made a movie To Live to Sing. And we
Oh.
reconnected with Dan at Cannes.
Right.
When we were there for the film at Directors Fortnight, and he was like, oh, I have this movie I need a line producer for. And I was like, well, you already know me, and I'm pretty
See,
cool.
like,
I think I know
might be
someone.
interested.
Yeah. That's so funny that we're friends now.
Wild.
Yes. That I strategically
Well, that's
organized
how
that.
you do it. That's how you make
Yes.
connections
Well,
and build.
It's a long game.
Look,
It
You
is.
gotta
that's what I
play
did with
your-
you.
Yeah.
Long game.
Loki, that's what I did with. I observed Hana in the digital space.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We had a class together. I was like, this person is great. She's so cool. She's so fun. Look at her out there acting, having her part in The Flash, doing the thing.
It's a wonderful knife.
It's a wonderful night.
right,
But I
which we
think
all
the
worked
picture
on.
from your Instagram where you have that wig
Yeah,
on.
yeah, that's The Flash.
Well, anyways, the first day of class that we had a thing together, I saw that it was you,
She
and I
was-
was like,
Are you Hana Huggins? I go, yes. I
please tell me I
am."
didn't sound that creepy.
No. No, you didn't.
You're like,
It's
I
like-
was recognized
either
in
way,
class?
we're here now.
yes.
I hate to tell you this, but that's actually how I found most of my friends too.
On the
Like-
digital, you found them online. And
Or
you're like,
I
I
like-
like that energy.
Or like my friend Megan in
You stalk your
college,
friends.
I like heard that, she was like in the writing program and like, was making cool web series. And I was like, that's someone I want to be friends
Yeah.
with. So I
Mhm.
literally stalked her around campus
Yeah.
until I kept just like accidentally bumping into her. And I was like, oh, I guess we're friends now.
Accidentally.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Might as well.
That's fine.
Does she know that story?
She does.
Okay. I'll
Yeah.
You showed
You're
up
not
on
right.
her first date with her ex-husband
That's
by
so
accident.
funny.
Yeah.
I would do that. I would
Yeah.
do that. My best friend just sit like with a menu somewhere else.
Yeah.
A ball cap.
Watch. Oh, I thought you said bald cap.
That's
I would
the
do that
ultimate
too.
disguise.
Yeah.
Yeah. Determination.
Yes.
Talking about a hard 180. Talking about US productions, Canadian productions. In another interview that you did, you were talking about the difference or like something that can make or break a film being test screenings and that like
Mm-hmm.
increased amount of revision. Can you like give us an example of a project where this was maybe the case, or like I don't know, give us a little bit, give us some thought on that.
I feel like I want to
process.
ask you about this.
Sure,
so
yeah.
Both
I,
please
It's
yes.
post production.
yeah. So
Mhm.
like I talk a lot about how test screenings are so important for audiences.
Mhm.
What's your experience with this?
Test screening being like showing
It
a select
depends.
few
Yeah.
people.
It depends. I mean, it often happens pre picture lock, obviously, because they're still
Mm.
cutting.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
they're
yeah.
So we're like at that stage, we're kind of involved. Maybe we're consulting on a few things. We've very rarely started a big chunk of post at that point. It's kind of just with editorial. But sometimes we'll do like cleanup passes and like temp mixes
Yeah.
for just to help kind of get the sounds like in a better place or something. Rarely will we do like a a color pass. But what were you saying?
Do you ever get a note that's like the audience hated this and you have to like do major revisions?
Not at the stage that when we're working on it.
Okay.
Maybe in editorial, but
Mm-hmm.
by the time we take over, it's like they've done those test screenings. They've kind of locked things in.
Yeah.
We did. We were finishing a movie for A24 and Apple that went through a bunch of test screenings, I think, before they locked picture, and we weren't really involved in any of that stuff. But
Yeah, because
we're hearing about it. But
yeah, the test screening phase really is like in editorial. Which
I've been to test screenings where
Yeah.
they're like, "Give us your thoughts," and you can
They throw
be really-
tomatoes.
no.
No.
No, but I think I think some people, like, depending on, and this is obviously very different between independent and like studio stuff, and I find with a lot of independent indie features when that happens, the sense that I've gotten in the past is that the filmmakers are really looking for people to tell them that their movie is great. They like want to like validation. And if I'm getting invited to a test screening, even if I like the movie,
Well, you're always gonna have feedback.
Yeah.
Like
that's
as
the point
someone
of it.
working in the
That's
industry.
the point of it,
Yeah.
right?
Constructive
I think
criticism.
you're not giving the filmmaker justice if you're just telling them it's so great. Like you have to find those flaws and
Yeah.
at least have them think about. Because I find like when we've done that in the past, I don't know if you do this a lot, but thinking back to like other movies, if you're getting the same note over and over from multiple people, that's probably something you need to address.
listen to the note.
If there's
Yeah.
but then obviously you get other notes where you're like, oh, that person just didn't get it, and that's one-off note, and you can take the note and you can try to fix it, or you can just say, well, whatever, that's not really a priority. But I mean, test screenings are super important because you're in this little silo and you're watching the movie multiple
Everything
times,
makes sense to
hundreds
you,
of
like-
times. Exactly,
Yeah,
everything
'cause
makes sense to you. You wrote it. They've
You've
directed
been
it,
sitting with
wrote it.
yeah.
You need to get out of that silo, and it happens when we work on stuff too. Like if we're working on something for 2-3 months, by the time we're mixing, I don't know if the movie's good or not anymore. Like
Yeah.
It's just
you have
it is
seen it
how
so many
is, and you've
times,
seen it
like
so
you
many
can
times.
never seen it. You can never see it for the first time again. So
Well, we always say like a movie is made in production and then it's remade in post.
Yes.
So like I will we often work together and I'll
Yeah.
make a movie and then I'll hand it off to you and I'll be like, here, make your version. It's like,
Yeah.
I can
It's
only
like 3
do so
versions
much.
of it, like the writing,
Yeah.
the script, and then production, and then post. It's like a whole different beast
Exactly.
each time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you want to do your friends a favor, stop telling your friends they're talented. Stop telling
It's
them
terrible.
they're good. No, but seriously,
No.
like the thing that I find, especially in like Canadian art, is we do a lot of like telling everyone they're great, but not enough of constructive criticism
very
or
polite.
criticism.
Mm-hmm.
Because especially in the script phase, if you are not getting enough feedback saying like this doesn't work, then you're going in with a script already that doesn't work.
Yeah.
Stop going to your friends for feedback.
Yeah.
Go to people who are going to tell you suck.
No, I really
Um,
appreciate it. Like
yeah.
for my thesis, Shaq, obviously.
Mhm. Love Shaq.
He gave me like pages of feedback, and I was like, thank you so much. Like,
Yeah.
thank you. Each
Well,
page is like broken up. Even when I showed you my thesis film for the first time, you were like, oh, I wish I could. Not even like, it was just great constructive criticism.
What did
And
I say?
I don't know. Like, oh, I wish I could see her face in this shot.
Oh,
or like, I
oh,
wish,
yeah.
I wish
Yeah,
there was
yeah,
an
yeah.
angle from here or there, or this might make sense.
Mm-hmm.
But that's like exponentially beneficial to
Yeah.
making it.
And
yeah.
get feedback from people outside the industry. Get feedback from normies
Yeah.
because like they're your
Definitely.
audience.
Yeah, they're not like the
Um,
intellectual ones who like trying
Yes.
to conceptualize what you're
Yeah.
trying to do, but yeah.
And not even just like the cut, the edit, the script or whatever. Look at your poster, look at your marketing, look at, every piece of the film has to have some sort of eyes on it that aren't just your own. Filmmaking is not meant to be a solo effort, it's collaborative.
I learned
Yeah.
that.
It's
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah.
One
Yeah.
of the first, I think one of the like first rules that was established in one of the screenwriting courses that I got to take at UBC as part of my degree was don't start being, it was like, you can't
Don't
just say
start.
nice things. That was like rule number 1. You need to give some kind of constructive something. And if you're just complimenting each other, you're wasting your own time. And I was like, all right.
I love that.
All right,
like,
then.
here we go. Yeah. Sorry. Whip sound effect.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was so incredibly useful. Shouts Aiden. We were in a little screenwriting class together, and it was very much like, I feel like the other thing that I appreciate that about that though is like gratitude is assumed, safe environment is assumed, that's established.
Usually.
So then you can really get into it with the feedback and those kinds of things. I have a question for both of you, kind of on that same topic. Like you're talking about, oh, we're working on this film. We've been working on it for months. I don't even know if it's good. It's like, you know, well, kind of a joke, but like, what are your strategies for maintaining that like overall perspective on the project just when you have been so immersed in it? Do you have like what's
I don't think you
the
can.
tool?
I hate everything I
don't
make.
think you can.
You just surrender to it?
That's why I find post-production so hard.
No, I genuinely hate everything I make, like when I actually watch it, because I feel like I sit there in the theater and I go, I remember when I was stuck behind that door and I couldn't get out.
Yeah,
and
like
like
you
you
can't
can't
that scene and I was just trying to be quiet. Or...
or like I remember when like that jacket didn't work and I had to like pay someone to like fix this button, or like, you know, like I feel like I'm like stuck on the details and I like can't get out of it. But I think that's a producer brain thing. Whereas I have so much admiration for directors where they can disconnect from all of that and just go, okay, what's the story? What's like the emotional resonance here? Like they can figure that out. I have no idea how you can rewatch the same thing over and over and over again and not lose your goddamn mind. Seriously.
I never said I don't lose my mind.
Oh, it all just clicked. Yeah.
No, I think you have to trust your gut when you first get into something, because you can only read a script for the first time once. You can only watch a cut for the first time once.
Yeah.
Even if it's a work in progress or whatever. So you kind of have to like remember what you felt on that watch or that read and make your decision. Like say you're like trying to figure out if you want to do a project or not. I've been in situations where I've read something or seen something and I'm like, I don't know about this, but then you you get into it and you do it, and then by the end of it you're like, oh, maybe this is not so bad. But then it's not, just like you have to always remember that first like initial feeling. And then there's been a lot of things that I've read, I'm like, oh my god, this is amazing, this is great. Like The Wedding Banquet was one of those things. I read The Wedding Banquet, and I love the script. I met with the director, Andrew On, who's like one of my favorite humans, and I just kind of remembered that and that feeling that when I first read the script, and you're watching dailies and then you see a cut and then because then once you get into it, you're watching it 20, 30, 40 times throughout the process, and you're kind of you just have to kind of like remember. You just have to trust that initial feeling.
Yeah, that's really good advice.
Yeah, I feel that I kind of try and take notes when I'm watching something or reading something for the first time. Do you kind of keep it? You like consciously are like, oh, this is my first time going through it. Do you try to like? No,
I try to lose myself in it.
Okay.
First read is always first read or first watch. I always like just read it, just watch it.
Yeah.
See if it actually just like works and lets you kind of like sink into the story in the movie.
Are you able to turn off the post brain of like, ooh, that coloring doesn't look good, or like, ooh, this sounds bad, or
usually you're kind of always in the back of your mind. Usually I kind of listen to something and be like, or look at something and I'm like, oh, can I fix that, or can we fix that, or but I try to stay out of that for the first watch. I'll go back through it again and start maybe making some notes, and then like go back through it a third time and start making creative notes. And especially if I'm like prepping for a meeting with a director or something, I'll watch or read something 2 or 3 times.
Again and again and again and again.
Yeah, and that's just the first 3, and then there's 35 more after that.
I do the same thing like when we're budgeting scripts. Like I'll go through the first read and just try and like get the like storyline figured out, and then I go back and I go, wait, who blows what up now? Hang on,
and where?
And
how big?
How many picture cars is this? What? How many locate? Oh dear God. Thank God for scriptation and all their note.
I don't worry about that. I'm just like, oh, I get to blow something up. Cool. I get to make cool sounds.
Pretty.
There. That's great.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, he can hear when I've done a secondary pass on something because I'm just like in my little office room going, ah. Yeah.
Well, you just mentioned Elemental started 5 years ago. That's
wild.
Yeah.
Crazy, because I feel like everyone in Vancouver knows Elemental, or at least anyone that I talk to, they're like, oh my god, yeah, Elemental. How has that journey been, starting a post-production studio in Vancouver? Because you also have a location and office.
Very hard.
Yeah. Was that something that you'd
A lot
been
of
like
work.
planning
Well said.
for a long time, or?
Yeah, so Dave and I, we both freelanced for 10, 12 years prior to that. Just building our like client base and projects and filmmakers we work with, and we just worked with a lot of the same people. We worked on a lot of the same projects. So he had a little studio kind of down the road from me, and we
Let's be honest. We took the two coolest kids in post and
Yes.
smooshed them
Oh, thank
together to make the ultimate post company.
thank you
Period.
for that.
The ultimate cool table.
yeah. So yeah, we had talked about like I'd always wanted to like kind of work my way into, you know, a facility of some sort, but I didn't want to work for a facility. I didn't want to work for anyone else, and just kind of do my own
Neither.
thing and have the control of what projects we took and
Yeah.
what kind of movies we're working on, and wanted to focus more on feature films of varying sizes and things. But I think it started with wanting to provide a kind of facility like experience that was geared more to like the film and just for a certain type of film. So like for it started out as, you know, giving that experience to like Canadian independent films, and then it's kind of grown from there. But yeah, it's just a different way of doing it, right?
What's
I
your
don't know.
what's your niche now?
Our niche now is definitely
Great
like,
question, Amanda.
yeah, it's definitely feature films, varying budget levels, but we do a lot of, you know, independent films, you know, between 5 and 10 million and 3 and 5 million, and we do, you know, feature films for Canadian feature films, you know, filmmakers here in Toronto and kind of across the country. So yeah, but very feature film focused.
Did you
and
work
documentaries
with, yeah. Did
as
you work
well. Yeah,
on Nechako?
we did.
Lantern
yeah.
Films.
Hey,
That's
right,
where I work.
yeah,
Our
that's
favorite.
right,
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
so we did picture, finishing,
Yeah.
color.
yeah,
for
so
Nechako,
my whole office would be like, "Oh, we're just gonna go to Elemental," and I'm like, "I wish I was coming." I don't know.
Why didn't you come?
I don't know. I think I was either like in class or something while they were there, or I was
Busy
we have a whole board.
Actually, I
just
wasn't
worked from there.
specifically assigned to Nechako. Like I was just kind of helping with some of the in-office back-end production stuff.
As if you need an excuse to go hang out at Elemental.
Hey,
You can
I'll
come
just show
anytime.
up with
Yeah.
my future dog
Yeah.
that doesn't
Yeah.
exist yet.
Is it an office where dogs are allowed?
Yes.
Are you
me,
kidding me?
me answering yes.
Yeah,
Um,
snacks
yeah.
and soda are regular
Yeah.
like greeters there.
Wonderful.
They're basically employees at this point.
Yes, they're
Employee of the
usually
month.
pretty good. They when you come into the office, Soda usually barks at you for 2 seconds and
To
then
say hi.
to say hi, and
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
but yeah, they're often there.
Directors
One-
request them.
Yeah.
they'll
and I would do the
yeah.
same.
They're like, I'm a soda director or I'm a snacks director.
I
Like
love
And would
Yeah,
you
we
like
have,
an
like-
animal companion for your visit?
yes.
Yeah, if we have
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
if we have
like
like
check on the
if we have
phone.
like meetings or like
Yeah.
you know tours or something, we kind
Yeah.
of like try to suss out, okay, well, you know, which dog should be around.
yeah.
Yeah,
Which
does that
one's
help?
personality
Yeah.
suits
Yeah.
the style of the film?
Yeah.
And then I get stuck with the other one on set. I'll be like, okay, fine. My poor assistant will be like, oh God, which one
Yeah.
do I have today? But I,
So,
you know
yeah,
what I
very
love
dog
about
friendly.
Elemental, because I'm gonna toot your own horn for a second here, is
Thank
is
you.
it's the only place in Western Canada that does color, sound, and finishing under one roof.
It does. I think so. Yeah. in-
You
in
think
Van-
so?
in
It
Vancouver.
is! It is!
Yeah, that was
Your unique value proposition.
Yes,
Just one
thank you.
space
Thank
to
you,
go
business.
to.
Well, that was the-
yeah.
Yeah.
that was the big thing when we started was and the genesis of the idea, and you know what Dave and I talked a lot about is that there wasn't a place in Vancouver that did everything together, and
Yeah.
those kinds of
Which is
houses
wild.
exist in Toronto and London, New York, LA, like everywhere. And for some reason it wasn't here, so that's kind of been a really nice niche for us, like
Yeah.
so
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of producers love that because
I mean, yeah.
we can
Yeah.
just
Just here you
package
go.
we can package everything, or like on the other side of that too, like we also understand that filmmakers, they have their relationships that they've built over the years with people. So there's filmmakers that work with certain sound designers or work with certain colorists,
Yeah.
and we kind of want to provide a place that you can come and we can support you in whatever you need for
Yeah.
that project. So
Mhm.
Nechako, we didn't do sound, we did just
Yeah.
picture, and
I think
there's a lot of projects that we do both and everything,
Mhm.
and that makes sense for a lot of projects too.
yeah.
So yeah, it's been like a really nice blend of both things, and when we do
Yeah.
get to work together on the same project and do everything, that's our favorite.
Yeah.
for sure.
Because you
Yeah.
really have your hands on it.
I was literally, my next question was like, what differentiates you from other post studios in Vancouver? But we just got the answer. It's
Nailed
that would be the
it.
one.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that would be the
Haha.
one. So-
I just like that as a producer, you can just wander down the hall and be like, what's going on with picture? What's going on with sound?
Mm.
What's going on with the dogs? You know, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
well, and some
Yeah.
people too, they like to just say like, hey, we just want a place where we can say, here's the edit, like
Can you
go
just
with
fix
it.
it?
Just
Mhm.
not necessarily fix it, but just like
Yeah.
you know,
Go with
Your
that.
thing.
it's in one spot. You know,
Yeah.
filmmakers can come and they can, you know, if we're working on something, they kind of just set up shop for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever, you know,
Mhm.
however long.
Mm.
With Wonderful Knife, it was kind of like that, where Tyler came up from LA and that schedule was crazy. I think we like posted the whole movie in like a month, and he came up
Whoa.
and just kind of like lived out of the space for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And you know, so we graded and then we mixed afterwards. And so while they were grading, I was doing, you know, sound design work and
Mhm.
pre-mixing, and it just kind of like takes over the space, and everyone's kind of working towards the same goal. So it's kind of a throw to like just filmmaking in general. And I
Yeah.
think that's what's
Mm.
missing in a lot of other places too, is just like we're filmmakers first. That's what we gotta try to
Yeah.
look at.
I was gonna say the
how we look at
vibe.
things. Yeah.
And you
Mhm.
said what different. I was like, it's just
The
great
vibes,
energy.
the
Like,
good
it's so
vibes.
lovely. We were lucky enough to get to do a little bit of ADR for one of the student
Mhm.
films I produced, and the
Mm.
kids were so excited and happy to just get to do ADR in such a cool space and a
Yeah.
welcoming environment. Thank you. And the dogs, like,
Yeah.
Well, in
yeah.
case you're wondering, Tyler, the director from It's a Wonderful
Yeah.
Knife, snacks director for sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's right,
Amazing.
Yeah.
Just because like our audience is composed of like a lot of emerging filmmakers, color and sound are both pretty self-explanatory. When you talk about finishing, can you talk a little bit about more specifically like what that is?
It's the thing that producers
Yeah.
forget to budget for when they're starting out.
And that's the technical definition.
Yes.
There you go.
And that's the dictionary
Yes.
definition.
Yes. Also, just on a budgeting note, if you're budgeting, post should be 20% of your budget.
Noted.
That'd be nice.
Notable.
I
Yeah.
don't think that happens often.
Just
but
saying.
Hana,
that'd be nice.
hey.
Heyo!
Hey, marketing.
Yeah.
Yeah, finishing's kind of a few different things, but it's like conform is kind of the process before you go into color, where it's kind of, if you're editing with proxies, you're relinking back to the original camera material. And yeah,
Say it like they're dumb.
I don't know how to do that.
You gotta explain it like they're
I
toddlers,
know what a
Matt.
proxy
just
is.
cut,
Yeah.
just cut.
A proxy is like a
No,
lower
no.
quality version of the clip, so you can edit it on a software without it lagging an incredible amount and taking up a lot of space on
Okay,
your
film school.
devices.
Damn.
I did go. I
Sure.
did. I do
I
have
set her
a
up
BFA.
for it. I set her up for
Yeah.
it, so I didn't have to do it. Thank you, Hana, for
You're
that. And then finishing's it's titling, it's putting together the final kind of edit of, in a way, like you have the actual picture edit, but it's all the little things that happen after. It could be like stabilizing shots that are a bit shaky, putting your titles in, doing your credits, dropping in visual effects,
Closed captioning.
closed captioning, subtitling, audio description, all those little pieces that are kind of just required for distribution and
Yeah.
And your deliverables.
That's the big
Deliverables.
thing. Yes.
Nobody remembers that when you're doing a movie, you have to actually like deliver it on, something.
Yeah, you can
Like-
me keeps it in like in the backlog of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a DCP is expensive.
PCBs, ProRes
Yep.
material, like all that. All distributors have lists of things that they need for different, platforms and for uses. So you kind of just, it's the process of like the mastering process, I guess. So it's putting everything together. It's putting the final color together with the final sound and getting it ready for theaters or festivals or wherever.
And if you're working with a post house and you don't know where you're going to be delivering it to yet, they can generally give you a good idea of like, here's what a usual theatrical list would look like and a usual festival list would look like.
Yeah.
So that you're kind of covered that way budget wise.
Yeah.
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 I feel like sound is something that, especially for student filmmakers or emerging filmmakers, that's something that they really forget can truly make or break your film. And it's like, we had Jenny Lee Gilmore in here this morning, and she was talking about how we need more people in sound, which
More people.
yes,
Heck yeah.
More sound people.
yes. For people who might have minimal or to no budget for audio or sound, do you have any advice on how to like make sure that they're not setting themselves up for failure in post-production.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of like pretty affordable recorders and microphones now. So I would definitely recommend yes, exactly. You know, for location sound, sometimes we'll get the shaft, and a lot of productions. I think that there's a lot of emphasis on picture and cinematography and lighting, and that's all great.
And then
But if your sound doesn't work or if it sucks, it doesn't matter, because you can have a movie that is shot on an iPhone or a HVX camera from way back when. And as long as the story is good and
it's lit well,
and it's lit like kind of, it's like there's stylistic choices visually that you can do, and but if your sound sucks, it's just it can be the prettiest looking movie, but if it sounds awful, like no audience is gonna forgive that. So and there needs to be more sound emphasis when you're capturing.
I think so.
And I think that's what really helps, because if you can capture sound on set well, then it just sets you up for post in a much bigger way. And
get that room tone.
Well, in podcasting, don't we know it? Sound is everything.
Oh my gosh.
This is where your social media person cuts into like a really horrible sound recorded piece of us. Yeah. Would you say if there was a choice on set between lav and boom?
I would always favor the boom.
There you go.
For me, like that's gonna, if you get the boom in there when you can. I mean, obviously it's not all the time that you can, but lavs are so unpredictable. Depending on,
especially with like emerging filmmakers and
maybe
did
someone
you
place
who's
it right?
Exactly.
And if you're not monitoring the lavs too, like depending on what recorder you have, like you might not know that it's happening. So boom is very important. And then if you are, in a big wide shot where you're only using lavs, monitor the lavs so you know that they're working and not cutting in and out.
Yeah,
we've learned the hard way.
Yeah,
lav malfunctions.
Yeah, but I will say too, like, don't do one or the other either.
Yeah,
I've had movies where the mixer would just record the boom or the lavs.
Yeah.
Not both.
No.
Oh, at any given point.
And it's only happened a couple times, and so now every time I start a movie, I'm like, I know this is gonna sound dumb. I know that I don't need to tell you this, but like, just make sure you're recording the booms and the lavs together, which should be something that's just, goes without said. Well, but I do say it now because it causes problems when you're trying to match, and there's just the characteristics are so different.
Yeah.
So, and I'll use the lavs to bolster the boom all the time. Like I won't generally pick and choose one or the other.
You kind of mix them in.
I'll kind of mix them together, and
which I'd imagine. I mean, when I edited my first film that I made, I just included all of the like mics, because I was like, well, we recorded them all, so we should include them all. Like, we need the surround sound, and
of course
you should include them. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but maybe just not all at full volume at the same time.
No, you should include them, and then when like someone like me comes on, they can choose what's gonna work best.
Yes.
And they can get rid of stuff that doesn't work, and they can choose stuff that does. And
yes.
But the boom's always great because it picks up the natural environment of the room. Lavs don't do that as much, so lavs are very like, they don't pick up the space you're in, but booms will.
Yeah.
That's why I use both of them and blend them.
Wow. The word distribution was mentioned earlier, and I just wanted to come back to that before. I mean, we're kind of hopping all over the place, but I like it. The vibes are good in here. Just with distribution being such a challenge sometimes for indie filmmakers, and this question can be posed to both of you. Like, I don't know, what is and/or is there advice for standing out in a crowded marketplace as an indie film?
Are you involved in the marketing as a line producer?
I mean, so much as like, okay, two separate questions for sure.
Sorry.
No. I just was like, I want to make sure I have two separate answers.
Yeah.
Being involved in the marketing, if I'm service producing a movie, I am involved in so much as like, we do EPK gallery shoots, like
Electronic press kit.
Yes, sorry.
No, you're good.
Acronyms. And we do like stills on set, which a lot of those are used for the poster, and we do a lot of publicity work during the shoot, because it's pretty much the only time you it's pretty much the only time you have all of the actors standing together until you premiere the movie.
In costume, in character, all that stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm involved in a lot of that, and nobody else actually ever wants to deal with it, so I'm always the one who's like, I'll do it. Only because it's like a lot to deal with on top of making the movie. Not that we don't love publicity, it's just extra.
It's a lot.
It's
extra
work.
It's a whole other thing with
it's
a whole other budget.
job.
Yes. Exactly. But in terms of distribution, advice for that is I always say this in every workshop that I teach, is make sure you have a movie and a script that has a log line or a story that is memorable and repeatable.
Not 3-4 sentences long.
Yeah.
No, one sentence long.
Sentence.
Yeah, because what you want is you want to go into every single meeting and have the person leaving going, great, your story is about this and this, and be able to turn to the person next to them in their next meeting and go, oh my God, I just had this great meeting with Hana who told me about their movie and it's about this and this. It needs to be memorable and repeatable. If your movie is not that, they will never, ever remember. It doesn't matter if you're trying to get distribution. It doesn't matter if you're trying to get an audience. It doesn't matter if you're trying to get a gaffer. You need to have a good, memorable, and repeatable story. And that's also how you can tell if your movie is going to be successful in the theaters once you get distribution. It's the difference between, a boring Canadian telefilm drama that is about, once again, it's the inner turmoil of some random dude.
You just outed yourself again.
I think it's totally fair to say that there are a lot of boring Canadian dramas.
Yeah.
Very many.
Because they're easy to make.
Yeah.
To be fair, it's easy to make a drama that has a very gray look to it for some reason. We always do that.
Yeah.
And like, there is nothing substantially interesting about that, as opposed to, making a movie where, obviously it's incredibly more expensive to be like, the dinosaurs are escaping. Yeah. That is memorable and repeatable. Yeah. But
Jurassic World. Dinosaur got out.
Yeah, exactly. But like, that's obviously more interesting.
Yeah.
But I think there are ways to make interesting, not expensive movies too. I mean, think about, what's that movie? Who was it that got buried in a coffin? Was it Ryan Reynolds is buried in a coffin the entire movie? And it's him making phone calls with his phone dying of him trying to get out of this coffin. And it is, the entire time I was thinking this could have been a talent to watch. Like, it was so compelling and it was so good and the storytelling was great. And the whole time you're like hooked on it.
Yeah.
And it totally could have been a telefilm talent to watch.
Wow.
And I would turn to the person next to me and be like, yo, I just watched this crazy movie about a guy trapped in a coffin.
Right? Memorable and repeatable.
Yeah, memorable and repeatable.
And, I think it was like Ryan Reynolds or, Chris Pratt or, some fancy actor in it, but like it's one actor. So that's where you're making your choices of how to spend your money.
And you can spend that money if you're just spending it on one.
Exactly.
Taking an idea that's simple, and especially if you're not working with a lot of money.
Yeah.
I find a big problem that people try, or that happens is that you get a little bit of money and you try to make a movie that's just like too big for what you have, and you're trying to stretch that dollar so far that it just doesn't work in the end. If you can find a simple concept that is limited in where you're shooting and what you need for resources,
and the stakes are crazy high,
exactly,
like crazy high stakes, because it's not about the technology that you're using. We all in BC have access to amazing technology, amazing like production partners, but it's about that story. Stop making movies of people trapped in a cabin. We've seen it before.
Start making movies about people trapped in a coffin.
Yes.
I want to say that should be the new trope.
Yes.
And I'd watch it.
Yeah.
But that's kind of horror-esque, right?
Yeah.
Horror is a really, I don't want to say easy, but like look at what is done consistently on low budget and makes so much revenue in the box office.
I mean,
It is crazy that horror is that genre that's able to be done on a low budget.
The Blair Witch Project.
We talked about this in our horror episode.
Yeah.
Yes. Wasn't it like $64,000 or no? yeah.
It was
Crazy low
incredibly
budget.
cheap,
Mm.
incredibly
Which
cheap. And
nowadays
well, it's
would be
well, it's
much
not
more.
64 today.
Yeah.
But
I
Um,
will say, like, though, the other flip side of that is I have a really hard time with people making movies for incredibly cheap when
how are you paying your people?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like it does feel a bit exploitative when you are having crews work for nothing or next to nothing. So you have to be really careful about how you are putting these together
Mhm.
and making sure that you are doing it in a way that does feel good for everyone.
Yeah.
And there are ways to make movies where you're doing it with a very small crew, where you're doing it with just a couple buddies, and
Yeah.
not necessarily pulling together, you know, the 120 person crew that we're doing on these giant movies.
Yeah.
So, you know, looking at ways that you're making movies ethically too is really important.
Well, if you have an idea that's simple enough and, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Contained enough,
Mhm.
then you can make that movie with 5 of your buddies and make something really great. And this is a shout out to my good friends. One of my favorite Canadian movies ever made was a movie called Violent. They made it in
Oh my gosh.
2014.
Andrew
Andrew Huselak
Huselak?
and
Yeah.
Josh Huselak and Joe
that was my
Schweers
first
and
time assistant directing. Not on that
Kane
film. but
McKenzie.
for-
So it was like
yeah.
literally 5 of them and 4 of them and a sound guy named John Deemer from Toronto.
Yeah.
Went to Norway and made this movie
Wow.
for
Cost
next to
them-
no money.
Yep.
And it was fucking
was
amazing.
really
and I will
good.
swear because it's that good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was really,
We'll
really,
believe
really
it.
good. I
Um, So it's that attitude, it's that kind of idea, and that and I know it's simple. I know it's easier said than done. Just go to Norway and make a movie.
but it's possible.
But yeah, it's that kind of like that kind of idea, and that movie was just so incredible.
it
And
was really good.
yeah,
Yeah.
so
I will also say, like, don't underestimate the value of TikTok for building an audience for your film.
Our content strategist over there.
Oh,
we need
I
to
was
start
like, what
doing-
are we looking at?
Oh, sorry.
we
that
need
was
to
just
start
me
a
looking at the
TikTok is the
camera.
whole
Yes.
thing.
There was this really great film called Egghead and what was it? Egghead and
Twinkie.
Egghead and Twinkie. Thank you. They had a brilliant TikTok about the development of their film from a short film into a feature. And I saw this and they were in the States and I was like, I need to help you guys. I want to find money for you. Like, I wasn't even in financing anymore. And I was like, I believed so much in that. I didn't end up helping them out because they no,
actually
just
do
because
anything.
so many people reached out and they had like better options than me, which good for them. But they did such an amazing job with their content that they basically just like financed their movie, had an audience, did an incredible job distributing it. Like, they crushed it. Because I think there's some sort of beautiful thing that's happening on TikTok about authenticity, and people are looking to find stories of people making mistakes with filmmaking. We're kind of done with like the polished red carpet BS.
Yeah.
And we want to see how people are actually doing it.
Yeah,
For sure.
I think 824 also has done some really amazing things with content creators becoming directors and like using that audience to funnel that into distribution.
Yes, I am currently sharing a studio with the Backrooms movie.
Oh
my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I sent
I've
that to the
been-
group chat, guys.
I've been hearing
Yeah.
so much about that.
Yeah.
And the director is very
20.
young. Yeah.
Yeah, good for him.
Does having a partner that understands the demand of film work help with irregular schedules and project pressures?
Or does it hinder?
Does it?
Does it?
Yeah. I think it's crucial.
I would date
in
you
ways.
even if you were a clown.
Yeah, so do I.
Yeah.
You are a clown though, kind of. You're both.
And-
Producer
I was
slash
waiting
clown.
for that.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Send in the clowns. Anyways,
Yeah, I think for us it's crucial.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. I
we could never be
Yeah.
with anybody else.
don't think so.
Well,
Yeah.
good thing you're
Yeah.
getting married.
Yeah.
Thank God,
Yeah.
finally. No, I think in film we have such a weird schedule of
Yeah.
like that whole idea of like I'll see you in 6 months, like, and no one else could understand that. My mom always said to me, she was like, "You're either going to get together with somebody in entertainment or in sports, because
I
those
guess
are
that's like the same type of
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
because that's it." And I was like, "Great, I don't understand sports."
that's
She really
yeah,
does.
I was like,
Sports.
yeah,
Yeah.
like
exactly.
he loves sports, and every time I go, I'm like, "Do I get a hot dog and a
I
baseball
just
hat?"
like, you know
that's
what?
about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I promise her baseball hats and hot dogs.
I just like the
I can't remember.
homoeroticism of the sport. I'm like,
Yeah.
I like when
This
they
is-
all touch each other's butts.
yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
That's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm here for. I'm here for the butts.
Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, I think it's important that like for this little piece of our year, we were going into. I finished this movie on a Saturday morning, very early in the morning, because it was like an overnight thing, as you do sometimes.
Mhm.
And I think Amanda was leaving that afternoon for 5 weeks to do her movie on the island.
Yay.
So I got home.
This was the A24 one?
No, Plan B.
Plan
Okay.
B, yeah.
Yeah.
So I got home
Same
at
thing, but different.
Same but different. Yeah.
5:30 in the morning, I want to say. Slept for like 3 hours, got up, helped her get ready to go, I don't think I took you to the ferry, but I think I just got you all sorted out. And then I went to France for 10 days and she was working, and then I came back and you were still working for a few. So yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's to just have that understanding of like, hey, this is our life. And
not having to explain acronyms.
Hey,
also,
yes.
yeah.
And that's on saving time.
Yes.
Yeah. But also we have very, very good rules that we've developed over the years, because
Which is important.
Yeah, we've been together for, I don't know, like 7 years or something.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. Where like we don't bring our bullshit from work home. So at home there's no like complaining about work, because it's very, at home we're at home.
Yeah.
And that has
to have that
that has been really, really important, and that took a long time to develop. We also go to couples counseling.
Love.
Yeah, which is great. To try and figure out like communication skills, because obviously at work I'm boss lady, which it's very hard to come home and not be boss lady. Especially when we work together, and I also have to be boss lady when we work together, which is tough. So we have to figure out where those balances are. I'm also just very alpha in my life anyways, so sorry, Matt. We made it work.
Yeah, we made it work.
Thank you. As I talk over you constantly. Love you.
Big beautiful hair.
Yeah, big beautiful hair. But you have to find someone that like works for you. And I think a lot of people, especially, when you're trying to find your ideal partner, have this idea in their head of like, this is what I want. Surprise, it's not going to be what you think is in your head at all. No.
There's a lot of talk about relationships in this industry and how it's a challenge, and I think I can see that from both sides, whether that be like you're both in the industry and have crazy schedules that maybe don't align at times, but then I also can't imagine being with a partner who really doesn't understand the industry that I'm in, and that creating tensions, or vice versa. If I'm not in an if I'm not in film and I'm having typical 9 to 5 where I'm home, and
yeah, people who aren't in the industry, they find it hard to get it.
Yes.
And I'm not saying that there's not successful relationships with people that are in the industry and not, because there obviously are, but at least a lot of the people that I'm close with, I feel like the successful relationships have been predominantly like industry intermingling, and I've seen a lot of friends that split up with their partners even of long time, not necessarily saying that that's why, but I think that typically when I'm seeing that is there's separate industry, separate.
Yeah.
And so I think understanding is really hard, because it is a crazy, really crazy industry that we work in.
Well, we also made an agreement really early on that work comes first, which is a bit controversial.
Yeah.
We,
is that still the agreement? Is this still the agreement? I thought that changed somewhere.
I think,
like, wait, hold on.
I think that changed somewhere.
I think somewhere along the line,
I'll rewrite the term.
Yeah, we do have very much like we would drop anything for each other and make
but
sure.
that's true, though. We did have that at the beginning. It was
and I think that was important for the beginning, because I don't think we ever wanted to feel like for the first couple of years that we were like sacrificing anything for each other. And we also made a very clear agreement that like if he or I got offered a job somewhere, there is no holding each other back. Like we would just move.
Yeah.
There is no question about it that we don't fully support each other's careers.
Yeah.
There is no compromise in that. And I think that's really important, because we're both just so career driven.
Yeah.
If he told me tomorrow that he needed to close Elemental and I had to financially support him for the next 10 years, I'd be like, great. You do you, boo-boo.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, there's like, there's no question about it. So having those like aligned goals and values is really important.
Yeah, could you imagine like having a 3-4 month relationship and just be like, listen, my work is more important than you are right now?
We're both insane.
You would get dumped so fast.
I'm like, valid, but at the same time,
I mean,
I know.
I'm kind of like I'm
For me, yes, but
I know. It's like a little dramatic. Also, I think this also works because we very much are not having kids.
Yes.
Well, you
And-
have kids.
Well,
You
I'm
got
like, the
snacks
dogs
and
are
Well,
part
yeah,
of
we
it.
have dogs, but
The
it's
dogs
not
are ingrained.
as much as I'm like they're my babies. I know it's not the same.
Yeah.
And we are never having kids.
Yeah.
And I know if we were to introduce kids into the conversation, our lives would have to completely change. But this works because we are not those people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm thinking I like the classic Ryan Reynolds, Blake Lively moment. They're like, we don't ever work at the same time because they.
Yeah,
I'm
we
pretty sure
wouldn't
that's
be
what
able
they've
to.
said. They were like,
Yeah.
yeah, we don't work at the same time because we have kids, and that's how they like make it manageable.
Yeah.
Easy when
Or
you
sorry.
have
Well, like, yeah, I was gonna
$400
say,
million.
That's what I was gonna say. I was like, well,
Yeah.
We do not have $400
They,
million
they,
in
they
the
can
bank.
work once.
Do you secretly have $400 million?
I wish I do not.
Oh,
No.
that'd be a nice secret. No.
Prenup clause. If there's secretly $400 million, please share.
Right? we actually, you know what? We did do before we moved in, we did like a prenup, like a dating prenup. We
I've
are
heard of
so
that. I've heard of
paperwork
that before.
focused.
This is so producer.
Because
I know.
Because when you're common law, you're basically married.
Yeah,
so.
That's true.
Yeah.
So we
you
needed
have
to
talk
know.
about that.
Yeah, we needed to know like if something happened, what would happen to the dogs? What would happen to our stuff? How long would we have to move out or whatever?
Yeah.
It's like we're just
well, that's really
we're those
important.
people.
Hard pivot again. Your advice to up and coming filmmakers on producing, on finding a career in post. What do you want to say to the youth of
If
Canada?
there's anything you wish you
Youths.
know when
The
you were
youths.
just starting out?
The youths.
A lot.
You go first. What do you want the post youths to know? You should look into the camera for this.
I
Do it like
should.
Z-Way style.
Z-Way.
Yeah.
Me doing that the whole time.
Oh, I realized. The camera's-
Just
Yeah.
do it. Just start doing it. I think, which is such a stupid
Do it.
piece of advice, but
Nike sponsored.
all
Just do
the technology is the barrier to entry is obviously a lot lower now with technology, and I think you just start doing stuff. If you're in post, find your friends who are making movies and sound design them or edit them or color them or whatever part of the industry you want to get into. And maybe people realize this, but I didn't realize it, so I'll say it. It's really, really, really hard, and you have to really love it. You have to love it more than anything else.
If you want to do anything else,
If you want to do it, if
do
you want to do
that.
if you want to do anything else, do that. It's really hard. It takes a long time to build up. Just your skills, your client base, your career. It does not come easy.
Mhm.
So you really have to love it.
And take
It's
initiative.
Good advice.
Yeah.
on the other side of that, my advice is have boundaries. Yeah. I think there was a long time of this idea of if you want to work in entertainment and you want to work in film, yes, you have to sacrifice everything.
Yeah.
You have to work the longest hours. You have to put in the most. And you have to, be the hardest working person there in order to succeed. That's bull. You don't have to do that.
You just don't give up.
Mhm.
Yeah,
If
literally.
you don't give up, you'll make it at some point.
Yes, it is.
Consistency.
Yes, it is consistency. It's longevity, but have boundaries. Don't work on weekends. Don't give up your. I know we're
Sunday.
literally doing this
And
on
here
a Sunday. But
I worked last night at
Yeah.
till 1:30 in the morning. So.
I
I was texting George at 11
Yeah.
about contracts.
yeah, but make choices where you feel like they're good choices to make for you. If you feel like someone is taking advantage of you and your time, set appropriate boundaries.
Yeah.
You want to make sure that you are not being overworked and underpaid.
And then burnt out.
Yes, burnout is real. I had been hospitalized
real.
for exhaustion multiple times in my 20s as a production coordinator, and that's not okay.
No.
And it felt like a badge of honor, which is super messed up.
Mm-hmm.
So take care of yourself, take time. And one of my non-negotiables when I'm working is 8 hours of sleep.
You guys are getting married, and so we needed something blue and something borrowed. Well,
something
something
old
old and
and
something new,
something
but
new.
this is disregard the old and new portion. Just something that's inside. We have
Okay.
had you guys here today. We've talked so much
Mhm.
about your lovely little babies.
Oh
And so we got something in there for
this is so
snacks and
exciting.
soda.
Amazing.
I'm gonna open
Should
it.
we open it at the same time?
Sure.
One flap each?
Yeah.
You ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, flap.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Okay, you
nice.
pull it out. You've got the
Okay.
bigger
if you
flap.
can. So it's
This
something
is
borrowed
so
because it's
cute.
not for you guys.
It's for the
funny.
dogs.
Yeah, it's for their
Oh,
movie
yeah.
snacks.
Amazing.
We usually
That
give
is
our
so
guests,
cute.
snacks for their upcoming movie. Ignore
So
those; they're
good.
just our business
Oh,
cards.
business cards in our
also,
labs.
These business cards,
But you can
are,
take
like,
one for
really
sure.
nice.
Thank you. We're
That's
gonna
branding.
we're updating.
We just redid our logo. Ooh,
Yep.
new logo
website
dropping.
coming out
Nice.
next week.
This is so cute.
For those
Yeah.
who may not be able to see on camera, they're dog treats
Dog treats in a
Yeah.
jar.
in a jar with a little blue
Specifically.
ribbon.
Perfect.
Yeah,
That was so sweet.
Thank you guys for
Thank
sharing your
you.
time, your knowledge, your expertise.
we're so grateful to have you guys here.
Plan B Film with director Jane Schoenbrunn, who did I Saw the TV Glow.
Yes.
And who is
Super cool.
just signed on as an executive producer for She's
She's
Non-Binary.
Non-Binary.
Yes.
Jess McLeod.
Yes.
With Bob Odenkirk.
Yes.
Jess McLeod was also in the movie.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
Of
So
course.
we love Jess.
Yes.
So that movie, very excited. So that'll come out, I don't know, next year sometime. Currently shooting The Best Is Yet to Come with Matthew Broderick and Alan Ruck. They're reuniting from Ferris Bueller's Day Off. So
Yeah.
that'll be really cool. You'll see that in
Amazing.
theaters next year sometime. Matt, you go. You talk about, you do way more things than I do.
I'm doing a little New Zealand co-production called Holy Days
Oh,
right now
cool.
with Judy Davis, Miriam Margolis, and Jackie Weaver.
Genuinely the funniest movie I've ever seen clips of
There's
to
lots
come out
of-
of his laptop.
Lots of comedy. Yes.
It's nuns. Funny nuns.
That's
Yeah.
hilarious.
Up to
three,
shenanigans.
three nuns trying to save their convent. Yes.
Keep an eye out.
This fall.
Elemental Post and
Yeah.
Notable Studios.
We'll put it on our story.
Yes.
We'll be cross promoting.
Okay, now we can wrap it up.
Listeners, enjoy the rest of your day. Don't forget to check us out at FLM Picnic on Instagram. You can also find recordings of our episodes on Spotify, on YouTube, or on the CiTR website, the archive. We will see you next week on Film Picnic as we continue to explore the Canadian film industry with meaningful conversations just like this one.
One picnic at a time.